Bay leaf is a plant that has been in our kitchens for generations, yet we haven't learned to unlock its true potential. Most people know it only as a seasoning for soups and borscht, which gives dishes a characteristic aroma. But it turns out that behind this humble leaf lies a real treasure trove of healing substances that can dramatically improve the quality of life, especially for those over 50. This is me, Dr. Maria Nikolskaya, a therapist with 10 years of experience and a consultant on healthy aging. When you wake up with the usual stiffness in your joints, when a runny nose turns not into a week-long inconvenience, but a month-long ordeal, when chronic inflammation becomes your constant companion, that's when a simple bay leaf can play the role of the very assistant you needed. It's not magic or a panacea, but it's a working remedy, tested by time and experience. I must share something interesting with you. In my practice and in conversations with colleagues, I have rarely encountered information about such potent properties of bay leaf. This knowledge was not widely disseminated, either in medical circles or in popular health literature. But when we started discussing this topic on the channel and people began to share their results, something amazing happened. You, our viewers, started telling stories about how bay leaf helped you cope with persistent sinus inflammation that had resisted traditional treatment for years. These stories were not isolated incidents, they became a mass phenomenon. People who had suffered from chronic ailments for years tried the recommendations with bay leaf and achieved results that surprised them. This inspired us to delve deeper into what specific components in bay leaf possess such healing power and why this remedy works so effectively. If you want to stay constantly updated on such discoveries, see the real experience of ordinary people who immediately start applying simple and inexpensive methods, get quick results, and generously share all the details, limitations, and nuances of their experience, then be sure to subscribe to my Telegram channel. There, we daily analyze such amazing remedies as bay leaf and many other natural helpers. The link to the channel is in the video description. Now, let's figure out what lies behind such a stunning effectiveness of bay leaf. The main thing is that it contains a huge amount of essential oils, but they are not aggressive at all and do not cause irritation to mucous membranes, unlike many other strong and quite harsh oils from other plants. But that's not all. Bay leaf contains a simply gigantic amount of phenolic compounds, much more than in any other natural remedy. Phenolic compounds are a general term for a whole group of substances, which includes, for example, the well-known quercetin. It is these compounds that provide the powerful antibacterial action of the laurel. It is important to note one very significant point here. Bay leaf shows high efficacy against Staphylococcus, Pseudomonas aeruginosa, Klebsiella, and many other gram-negative bacteria, which are always much more difficult to treat than gram-positive ones. This opens up enormous possibilities, including the therapy of severe, advanced, drug-resistant bacterial infections, especially in chronic cases where even powerful antibiotics prove ineffective. I will definitely add links to scientific studies in the description where scientists have demonstrated how combination therapy, antibiotics plus laurel extracts, has successfully treated serious diseases such as tuberculosis and various resistant fungal infections. There are actually a huge number of such studies, and they are accumulating year after year. The tone is empathetic, warm, and trustworthy, like a private consultation. She speaks clearly but naturally, not like a robot. She uses significant pauses before important medical terms and drops her pitch slightly when discussing serious symptoms like melanoma or heart failure to emphasize importance. She takes audible, soft breaths between long thoughts to sound human and alive. The pacing is moderate, slow enough to teach, but dynamic enough to keep attention. These works revealed synergy, which is when one substance enhances and potentiates the action of another, creating an effect much more powerful than the simple sum of their individual actions. You see, bacteria very quickly develop resistance to antibiotics. This is their evolutionary adaptation. But if, simultaneously with antibiotics, we suppress the bacteria's own defense mechanisms, if we weaken their ability to resist, then together, these two impacts create a truly powerful joint effect that helps combat even very severe and advanced infections. The phenolic compounds in Laurel are not present just for show. There is a whole spectrum of them, dozens of different molecules that work in synergy with each other. It is precisely this diversity that creates the power we observe. When I, as a candidate of sciences, began to delve into the mechanisms of action of the bay leaf, I became completely immersed in this topic. Without understanding how specific substances work, I simply cannot take the effects of natural plants seriously. This is not just curiosity, it is a scientific necessity. Every time I find something truly interesting and supported by research, I am eager to share it with you. And then together, we conduct a kind of real-time clinical study. On my part, this involves analyzing all the mechanisms of action, possible side effects, limitations, and toxicity risks. On your part, it is immediate practical application, the search for new recipes, experimentation with preparation methods, and adaptation to the specifics of your lives and your bodies. But all of this happens safely and effectively. Many people are completely unaware that bay leaf has deep roots in Russian folk medicine. Back in ancient times in Rus, it was actively used to treat colds, to get rid of various pains and ailments. And what's interesting is that modern scientific research fully confirms this ancient wisdom. Take, for example, a 2023 study from the MDP journal. Scientists have demonstrated that the essential oils of bay leaf suppress inflammation through the mechanism of inhibiting the soluble epoxide hydrolase enzyme. This leads to a decrease in the level of pro-inflammatory substances in the body. For people over 50, this becomes a real revelation because it turns out that a common kitchen spice can significantly reduce the risk of arthritis flare-ups, especially during the winter period when joints are particularly troublesome. But there is another effect of bay leaf that turned out to be completely unexpected for me. It is its antispasmodic and anti-epileptic action. This topic is incredibly relevant right now because more and more parents are contacting me with a very worrying problem. Seizures occur not only in children with special needs or autism spectrum disorders, but also in outwardly completely healthy children who suddenly begin to have seizures. This is reaching epidemic proportions, and doctors often cannot give a clear answer as to where it comes from and why it is happening. In experiments on laboratory animals, bay leaf successfully stopped tonic seizures. And what's also striking is that its analgesic effect, when using good concentrations of extract or essential oil, is comparable to morphine. I am not exaggerating anything and not making anything up. All this data is based on real scientific research, and you will find full references to them in the description of this video. A study published in 2024 in PMC has presented us with a truly astonishing discovery. It turns out that bay leaf possesses pronounced anti-convulsant properties. During the study, scientists observed a significant reduction in seizure frequency in elderly patients suffering from various neurological disorders. This is particularly relevant for us because, with age, the risk of strokes and other vascular catastrophes steadily increase, and such an accessible tool could provide real help. But that's not all. Scientists, a professional, late middle-age female doctor's voice. The tone is empathetic, warm, and trustworthy, like a private consultation. She speaks clearly but naturally, not like a robot. She uses significant pauses before important medical terms and drops her pitch slightly when discussing serious symptoms like melanoma or heart failure to emphasize importance. She takes audible, soft breaths between long thoughts to sound human and alive. The pacing is moderate, slow enough to teach, but dynamic enough to keep attention. Scientists have discovered an anti-tumor potential in bay leaves that goes far beyond ordinary antioxidant activity. Particularly impressive were the results regarding lympholeukemia. This is a cancer of white blood cells, immune cells that are normally supposed to protect our body from infections and pathogens. It turns out that the anti-inflammatory, antibacterial, and anti-infective effects of bay leaf are synergistically enhanced by its anti-tumor properties, creating a multi-level defense against chronic inflammation and its dangerous consequences. A link to this study on high activity against lympholeukemia will be in the video description. I want to share a personal story with you that is closely related to treating oncology in advanced stages. I fought for my father's health, delved into scientific research, studied alternative approaches, and achieved some incredible results. I managed to control the disease progression according to laboratory markers, but unfortunately, cancer still won because my father fell ill at a very advanced age when his body no longer had sufficient reserves. Over a year and a half of intensive searching, I discovered many safe and affordable remedies that truly help in the fight against cancer. I will talk about this experience in more detail in a separate video, so be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss important information. And in the meantime, let's move on to the practical application of bay leaf. We'll start with one of the most common problems, a sore throat and various inflammatory processes in the sinuses. We're talking about sinusitis, other types of sinusitis, pharyngitis, and any chronic, recurrent upper respiratory tract diseases that bother us so often in the cold season. For effective treatment, you will need a concentrated solution. Take a packet of dried bay leaves weighing 30 grams and brew a strong decoction in a thermos. This is very important because a thermos will help preserve the volatile essential oils, which carry the main therapeutic load. The ratio should be 30 grams of leaves to 500 milliliters of water. Drink this decoction throughout the day in small portions, but it is even better to use it for rinsing the sinuses. When you start rinsing, a lot of mucus will come out, and there may be a slight exacerbation of symptoms, but believe me, the effect comes very quickly. Be sure to do inhalations with this decoction. We have accumulated a huge amount of experience from our viewers who shared their results. Screenshots on Telegram and Instagram show real, confirmed results from people who have used this method. If the inflammatory process is deeply localized in the frontal sinuses, apply hot compresses with the solution to the projection of the sinuses. Apply the compress without plastic wrap, just warm the area with the hot solution, allowing the heat to penetrate deeper. When the nose is stuffy, bay leaf works very differently than synthetic drugs. It irritates the mucous membrane in a good sense of the word, activating the natural outflow of mucus and phlegm. Vasoconstrictor drops in this case become simply unnecessary. Instead, it's better to thoroughly rinse the nasal passages with a strong bay leaf decoction, and the result will pleasantly surprise you. Now let's talk about cystitis, which, as is known, bothers women much more often precisely because of their anatomical features. Bay leaf here shows a local, topical effect, which is very valuable for solving this problem. If cystitis has already become chronic and stubbornly resists standard treatment, then it is worth adding sitz baths to the overall therapy. To prepare them, take a full pack of bay leaves, brew them in 1 glass of boiling water. You will get a very strong solution, and dilute it in a basin of hot water. Sit there for 20 minutes, allowing the medicinal solution to act directly on the affected area. According to statistical data in our country, women over 50 years of age face frequent exacerbations of cystitis, and research conducted in 2023 confirms that bay leaf is indeed effective even against antibiotic-resistant infections. To enhance the effect, add green tea to this process. Such a combination creates synergy, i.e., a mutual enhancement of the action of both components, and the effectiveness increases significantly. If even this does not fully solve the problem, then in my developed schemes there are complete treatment protocols using natural extracts, the link to which is in the video description. It often happens that a person carefully monitors their diet, has improved their lifestyle, their gastrointestinal tract works like clockwork, but inflammatory problems still remain. In such situations, it is necessary to work with inflammation not only from the inside through a general effect, but also to add a local, topical effect to the problem area. And here, bay leaf helps again thanks to its unique ability. Bay laurel essential oils have a high penetrating ability. They easily pass through tissues and reach the focus of inflammation. When it comes to joints, we again prepare a concentrated bay leaf decoction and make compresses from it, applying them directly to the affected joint. Such a compress should be kept for at least half an hour, but it is better to leave it overnight so that the active substances are fully absorbed into the tissues. Many people do not even suspect that a common bay leaf can significantly reduce the risk of arthritis flare-ups in people over 50 years old, especially when the cold season arrives and joints begin to ache from dampness and pressure changes. Studies from 2022, published in a reputable medical journal, have shown that bay leaf extracts reduce the concentration of inflammatory cytokines, particularly interleukin-6, leading to noticeable pain relief after just 1 week of regular use. Imagine an elderly Muscovite who suffered from knee arthritis for years and could not move normally. He starts using such compresses daily, and after a few days, he notices that he can walk much more freely in the park without the usual lameness and pain. This is truly a moment of enlightenment for those who are accustomed to thinking that salvation can only come in the form of pills and injections. When preparing the solution, it makes sense to add a little honey. This natural substance will significantly improve the penetration of the active components of bay leaf deeper into the tissues and at the same time enhance the antiseptic effect due to its natural properties. The only condition is to make sure you are not allergic to bee products, otherwise the effect will be the direct opposite. Now let's move on to more serious skin problems. When it comes to chronic rashes like psoriasis, eczema, or severe dermatitis, it's important to understand that these conditions are always based on one common cause: significant suppression of the body's immune response combined with an activated fungal load. Usually, this fungal infection is localized in the gut, but in advanced stages of the disease, it begins to spread further, penetrating the lymph nodes and causing systemic inflammation. Here's an important point. Yes, topical application of creams and ointments provides temporary relief, but true healing only occurs from within, through the gut. This is where you need to fight the fungus to stop the problem at its source. For such treatment, you will need an infusion of 30 grams of bay leaf in a glass of water. Drink it in small sips, warm. If the taste seems unpleasant, add ginger or freshly squeezed lemon juice. This will not only improve the taste, but also enhance the anti-inflammatory effect. Divide the glass into 3 servings throughout the day. The minimum course is 7 days, but more time is usually required. There is one critically important point that people often miss. All natural remedies should be alternated. This is called composition rotation, and it is necessary to avoid the body becoming accustomed to them. The rule is simple. The maximum duration of use for one remedy should not exceed 21 days. After that, you need to switch to something else and then return. If you have a chronic fungal infection, a completely different approach is needed. Take antifungal herbs and special regimens long-term, slowly, methodically, using small doses. The goal is to create an unfavorable environment in the gut for fungi and parasites so that they simply cannot exist there. But if an acute exacerbation occurs, then increase the concentration and dosage for 7 days. Here's what will surprise you. Bay leaf works more effectively than many expensive drugstore skin creams that you can buy at the pharmacy. A 2023 study conducted by World Health Organization specialists noted that laurel extracts inhibit the growth of dermatites, which are precisely what cause eczema and other fungal infections. Furthermore, laurel has virtually no side effects on the liver, which is critically important for the elderly and those taking many medications. Regarding topical application for skin problems, much higher concentrations of bay leaf will be required. This means you will have to use quite a lot of leaves to prepare solutions and compresses. In reality, there are more specialized agents that work faster against fungal changes on the skin. But here's the advantage of laurel. It is available absolutely everywhere, especially for my viewers from European countries or America, and it costs literally pennies. The antifungal mechanisms of bay leaf are confirmed by numerous serious clinical studies, so it is not just a folk remedy, but a time-tested and scientifically proven method for combating fungal infections. Studies have revealed the remarkable effectiveness of laurel against aspergillus, the very black mold that is extremely difficult to treat with standard methods. When it comes to deep mycoses, when a fungal infection penetrates internal organs, therapy becomes truly complex, expensive, and often quite toxic to the body. Entire research institutes deal with these cases because the problem is indeed serious. If you have had antibody tests and discovered elevated titers to Aspergillus, bay leaf can be a real godsend for you. According to research, its antifungal activity is on par with specialized pharmaceutical preparations, but at the same time, we can regulate the dosage and concentration depending on the severity of the condition. It is important to understand one key feature here. We are not talking about simply steeping the leaves in a thermos, but about boiling them. This is necessary to compensate for the loss of essential oils that evaporate during steam processing. We also increase the amount of dried leaves to enhance the concentration of active substances in the finished product. The ratios of ingredients can vary depending on individual characteristics, but the main thing to remember is that bay leaf has extremely low toxicity. The tolerability of the remedy depends solely on the sensitivity of your gastrointestinal tract. If you do not have pronounced reactions to herbal remedies, you can safely proceed with the treatment. Try it out and share your experience in the comments, because it truly helps everyone else understand the issue. Many people do not realize how versatile bay leaf is, especially for those over 50. This plant works not only as an antifungal agent, but also supports the overall well-being of the body. It improves blood circulation and reduces the risk of blood clots, which is confirmed by research from the Russian Cardiology Research Center. Let me give you a specific example. An elderly woman from Siberia who had suffered from varicose veins for many years began adding bay leaf decoction to her daily diet. The result amazed her. Her legs became noticeably less swollen after walks, and her general well-being improved. This adds a moment of revelation. It turns out that a simple herb that has always been in your kitchen can prevent serious complications that are often encountered at our age. For all the recipes I offer you, remember the quality of the raw material. Effectiveness directly depends on the region where the bay leaves are collected, so choose trusted suppliers you rely on. If you have a sensitive stomach, start with small doses, about half a glass a day, and carefully monitor your body's reaction. The treatment regimens I have developed, based on scientific data and your real-world experience, take all nuances into account, from the mechanisms of action of active substances to optimal combinations with other medicinal herbs. All links to detailed recipes and regimens are in the video description, so you can easily find all the necessary information. When you first start using bay leaf, it is very important to take care of your gut health. To do this, you should take probiotics simultaneously, which will help support beneficial microflora. This combination will not only enhance the therapeutic effect of bay leaf, but also significantly reduce the likelihood of any digestive discomfort. Bay leaf truly deserves the title of a real natural treasure, especially for people over 50. Its capabilities are simply astounding in their scope. A professional, late middle-age female doctor's voice. The tone is empathetic, warm, and trustworthy, like a private consultation. She speaks clearly but naturally, not like a robot. She uses significant pauses before important medical terms and drops her pitch slightly when discussing serious symptoms like melanoma or heart failure to emphasize importance. She takes audible, soft breaths between long thoughts to sound human and alive. The pacing is moderate, slow enough to teach, but dynamic enough to keep attention. This plant actively fights bacterial and fungal infections while simultaneously relieving inflammation and reducing pain. Furthermore, it prevents muscle cramps and exhibits anti-tumor properties, making it even more valuable for the prevention of serious diseases. All of this is possible due to the presence of phenolic compounds and essential oils in bay leaf, which work synergistically. These components not only complement the action of traditional medications, but also enhance their effectiveness. Moreover, bay leaf often helps in situations where antibiotics prove ineffective, providing an alternative path to recovery. Bay leaf can be used in many ways depending on the nature of the problem. You can prepare medicinal decoctions for internal use, make compresses for local application, perform inhalations for the respiratory tract, or take baths for comprehensive treatment. This variety of methods allows bay leaf to be used for treating sinus inflammation, cystitis, joint problems, and various skin diseases. This knowledge can truly transform your life, especially if you have been struggling with chronic ailments that significantly impact your quality of life for a long time. Many viewers of our channel have already experienced this transformation themselves and are ready to share their impressive results. I ask you to stay with me until the end of this video because the information I am sharing with you is critically important for your health and well-being. If you found this material useful and interesting, please give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel so you don't miss future episodes, and be sure to turn on notifications so you're always aware of new publications. In the next video, I will delve into a very personal and important topic, discussing methods for combating oncology based on my own life experience. This will be particularly valuable information that could help you or your loved ones. Thank you for your attention and for dedicating your time to this video. Take care of yourself and your loved ones because your health and your family's health are the most important things we have. Thank you for your attention and for dedicating your time to this video. Take care of yourself and your loved ones because your health and your family's health are the most important things we have.